Hello.
Well,
You might notice Joe has on another bacon shirt tonight. I just noticed that.
that's too much bacon. No one ever.
Said no one ever.
Yeah.
So tonight I thought I would address a question that I get asked. We actually did a short video on it a while ago about Craig doing chores. And in that video, he was upset because he does not like chores to be called chores. So if I say, Craig, come do your chores, he's usually going to fuss about it.
And that's he always does.
Yes, it's not that he doesn't want to do them. In fact, if I say, hey, Craig, will you go scoop the cat litter? He'll go right down and do it. Or, hey, Craig, will you wash the mat from the bathroom? He'll do it. But if I say, Craig, hey, check your chore list and see what you need to do, he doesn't like that at all.
You got a lot of items, so it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, but he doesn't like it being called chores. And you're right, maybe he doesn't like seeing that list because it looks like a lot of things. Even though he does them, I think he does all of them every single day. He does need assistance with some of them. He gets frustrated with some of them, and some of them is pretty easy for him to do.
Well, and that's why you help him with them.
Right, that's why I help him with the chores. One of the things on the chore list is vacuuming the stairs, and I got a lot of backlash from people wanting to know why in the world I make him vacuum the stairs every single day. Okay, so yes, we vacuum the stairs every day. We have 3 cats and 2 dogs right now. And that creates a lot of hair, and the stairs don't have carpet, and they're black. So you see hairballs on them after one day.
And our stairs dumps straight into our front door.
And yes, you see it right when you walk in. And the stairs are super easy to vacuum. We have a really nice cordless handheld shark vacuum. Takes them maybe 2 minutes. I mean, it's very fast. So it's not like we're torturing him, making him vacuum the stairs. In fact, that's probably one of his preferred chores. That and laundry. Craig's always happy to do any laundry. So that's where we are on chores. He does them, and I assist him when he needs it. In that video also, we have it's called an Amazon Echo Show 15, and it hangs on our wall, and it works really good to have. They don't actually have what's called a chore list on it, but they have a to-do list, and that's what we put Craig's chores on. And I wanted to show you that because the Echo Show has actually been a really good tool for us, for Craig, for his chores, and he can look on there and there's reminders. And so we're going to take you over and show you so you understand. And we'll let you know where you can get one if you're interested. I've had a lot of people interested in the Echo Show.
Link below for that.
Yeah, I'll do that. So let's go look at that right now. Okay. So this is what the Amazon Echo Show 15 looks like. It hangs on our wall.
You can see about the size of it. It's 15-inch diameter. It's like everybody remembers having smaller TVs before 65-inch was commonplace in every household in America, it seems like.
And you can turn it horizontal also. You can hang it either way that you want. Yeah,
and that's the nice thing about it, the orientation. We have it like this because you can see more of the apps. You can draw it up. And
it's
you
easier.
See stuff and everything. There's a lot of cool apps you can get on it, like the Magic 8 Ball. If you want to ask it a question.
Let's ask it a question.
Should I have dessert later? I just tap it and shakes it, and it tells me I'll look good. So guess who's having dessert later on? But shopping list is nice, and like all the Echoes, we've got, I don't know how many of the small Echo 5s, the first generation of those. But Craig has one in his room that he plays music on constantly. He'll ask it questions. He has it where the weather alerts come up. So we don't have to worry about weather alerts. Craig always knows if there's going to be a storm close to us.
Right. But the app that we use for his chores is right there, the to-do list. And all he has to do is tap it.
And it'll bring it up big.
And that is all the things that Craig does every day. Yeah. And most of them take him a minute. Like, some of them take a little longer, but I mean, watering the dogs and the cats, that doesn't take any time at all. Taking out the trash. I mean, they're all things that don't take very long.
Yeah, none of this do we expect Craig to, he gets up and at 9 o'clock in the morning he starts doing this. These are nice things that help break up his day and give him stuff to do that gets him active up and down stairs and everything. Doing stuff.
Well, it's good for Craig to have responsibility and a sense of ownership. And people have said, well, if Craig does all of those, what do you do? But as anyone knows that, yes, I help him, and so does Joe. But there's a lot more to be done in a house than those things on the list.
Like 11 chores or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's great. You can have it set up, and there's a lot of different one of these apps you can put on there and customize it yourself. You know, we've got it where we know when Amazon deliveries are showing up, and like I told Nancy earlier, we always have to, around Christmas, you have to watch who's walking by it, because if you have a gift on there for someone, sometimes it'll
tell you what it is.
And it'll say it's arriving today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you can move these all around. You can edit them. So in the winter time, I'll take that and I'll move it down into the bottom. I think I might even have more. No, maybe I don't have more than that. But you can move it down and everything. The calendar thing. Craig loves the calendar. He can see what's going on. He's got...
Craig loves seeing things on the calendar.
I don't know why it's got movies with Stephanie at 10 p.m.
Well,
today.
It made me say a time. I just set a time. Okay. Actually, it was supposed to be 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, but I don't know. Yeah. That was a communication
But he likes that.
Fail.
Like you can put them on to where their announcement alarms on them too. Like I've got recycling. You can have it set up to where it will make you physically come up and push the button, just like an alarm clock. Not all of them are like that. Most of them aren't, but like take recycling out. I've got to set up every 2 weeks, and if I'm not doing it, Craig's going to remind me because he hears it going on.
Craig's really worried about the recycling. In fact, when we were on vacation, Bennett had to send him a picture of the recycling bin out on the curb to prove that he had done it.
Yeah, because Craig had to know that the trash can was here and the recycling can has to be at least 3 feet away. Right. So
Craig takes those seriously.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we like about it, and Craig likes this too, is you can have it show your photos and your videos. So he gets to see the vacation photos all the time. How do you just tell it to put the photos up there? It usually is up there, so I'm confused.
I don't know what it's playing recently.
It shows us often what Craig's listening to with music too. It always shows what he's been listening to.
Like it'll be a picture, and you can just click on it, and it'll go through. And the nice thing is, most people when they take pictures, they're oriented landscape. I don't have any other fancy bracket. I just use the one that it comes with, and it's just got hooks. Well, on the back, those hooks also turn sideways. So the cord, you'd plug it in a little bit different way. But then it basically, just like that, I can just flip it, and then pictures that were taken landscape, which of course Nancy, back in those days, you always held your phone up. But anything we've taken on vacations and stuff like that, it stretches that picture out really nice, and like that, and it becomes a digital photo frame for you. And I can have it on this for as long as I want, and it won't go off there unless I
and basically your photos just have to be, you have an Amazon app on your phone, and you turn it on so that it plays to
and you can see that it came from Daily Memories on that. And if you've got an Amazon account, you get it. That's free, and you can do all that with it. And it's a ton of photo and video storage. Big thing is these right now on Amazon, these are like $297. They go on sale every couple months or so, and they're down at like $250. But don't forget, Prime is coming up on, I think it's the 11th and 12th of July. This thing, especially if I don't think I have the high def one, which for a 15-inch, anybody knows anything about displays, you almost can't see high def on this. You just can't. But if the high def one will probably be, I would take a guess at like $220, and all sorts of offers for adding additional things onto it. You know, whether you're wanting other mounts, or there's a nice, if you wanted this on your desk at work, wow, there's a couple nice like computer monitor mounts on it and everything.
So that's about all we have for this. I just really wanted to show everyone because we've gotten so many questions about it, especially using it for Craig with the chore list, and we have so many pictures of the granddaughters on it. But
and you could tell we went to Disney during COVID.
Yes, we did. So that's really all we have to say about this. And now we'll go sit back down. All right, so I'm going to answer some random questions tonight. I'm not going to get into anything very heavy. We'll save that for another night this week when we aren't so tired. It's been kind of a long day. One of the questions I received is, does Craig like puzzles? He doesn't. I really want him to. And in fact, one time Stephanie bought a puzzle and we thought we'd all put it together, and Craig just doesn't have the patience or the interest.
Yeah, it was a nice Disney puzzle.
Yeah, we got a Disney one.
Oh yeah, he'd be interested in that. But
I mean, we can force him to, but it's not very fun.
Yeah, the complexity of the hunting for spots and everything, I think it just overwhelms him a little bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't see any joy in aha.
Right, he doesn't find any joy in the puzzles.
Yeah.
So another question I get frequently is, does Craig drink alcohol?
No.
No. Craig, I think he learned this in school. Craig, if you ask Craig if he drinks alcohol, he will tell you that alcohol kills brain cells very vehemently. And
it's a drug. I don't know. I don't want to take drugs.
He has taken a few sips of things that he was interested, like
Curious.
They looked really good to him,
yeah.
But he's not interested in drinking alcohol at all. And he really hasn't liked any of the things that he tasted either. I mean, alcohol is a very strong taste,
yeah.
So.
He'll swallow, but he just about doesn't, and he's...
Yep. And the last question that I will answer tonight is, have we seen Rain Man?
Not lately.
I had to look it up. Rain Man actually came out in the theaters in 1988, and we saw it, and I loved that movie. That was before we knew that, well, it was before we had Craig. But I definitely thought it was a great movie. Probably one of the first movies that came out that was actually about autism.
Yeah, main movies, yeah, it was.
I'm trying to, I can't really think of anything else.
There was a TV movie.
Well, What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
No,
and I don't know what the timeline was for that. But
I bet that was after that.
That's one of the earlier movies that I can
Johnny
think
Depp's
of, though.
in that, so.
Yeah, and he was young in that movie, though. Yeah. But we watched it, and I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was a pretty good representation of an adult with autism.
Yeah, of somebody that had...
In that
level of profoundness.
Yeah, he was pretty severe.
Yeah.
I don't remember if they actually ever had any conversations in that movie, or if it
was just him answering basic questions.
Right. He was and sometimes Craig reminds me of that too, because he's so very matter of fact sometimes. And Craig knows a lot of facts. I always think of Rain Man, though, when I have to buy Craig new underwear, because he only wears boxer briefs. And he usually does when I get them at Target. So.
Yeah, not Kmart.
Yeah, not Kmart, but always Target.
Yeah, but definitely Target.
Yeah, definitely. So those are just a few of the lighter questions that we've been asked, and we're always happy to answer those questions, as well as any other questions that are a little harder or take longer to answer, we're happy to answer those too. And with that, we will go on to the next part of the video. Today, Craig and I made ham balls and cheesy potatoes for dinner, which was kind of a lengthy process, but Craig did really good and they were delicious. I was wondering if ham balls are just like a Midwestern thing, because when I was looking for a recipe on Pinterest, most of them are called Iowa ham balls. And I have to say, I never tried a ham ball until, well, I'm trying to think if I had a ham ball before there's a place in Indianola called Mishmash, and it's a coffee shop, but they also sell take and bake.
No,
where did we have ham balls at?
Or in a small town that was close to us, named Pella in Iowa. They've a lot of Dutch heritage, and they had two really competing meat markets in that town.
Oh,
it was Infeld's, and
I thought that was ham loaf though.
Yeah, but they also had ham balls, but
okay.
It was predominantly ham loaf. But it was the exact same recipe. It had the same sauces on it and everything.
But I never had that until
I had it.
We were married. I've never even heard of it. My mom never made ham balls or ham loaf.
Yeah, and Nancy found it. You'll need to link the recipe, because if you like ham balls, the sauce on this was just perfect. It was just like
I did tweak it a little bit.
The ones that I would always get in Pala.
Yeah, it was really good. It was a good recipe, but I did change a few of the ingredient amounts because they called for 1/4 cup of vinegar, and
yeah,
that's way too much vinegar. So I made another thing of sauce and mixed it with it, and just made it more brown sugar and not so much vinegar, and
I could still taste
evened it
out. I mean,
which is
that's
okay.
Part of ham balls.
Yeah, that's fine. It just
and don't worry, it's not that part of the pig. It's all the rest of the pig ground up, though.
Right. So just never know what Joe's gonna say.
She invites me to talk, so I'm gonna talk.
So anyway, we'll move on to the next part of the video.
I'm 60. I've grown old, but I haven't grown up.
Truth. All right, so we will see you all tomorrow, and thanks for tuning in and listening to our silliness.
Have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full. 1 for my master and 1 for my Dave, and 1 for the little boy who lives down the lane. Ba, black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, sir, 3 bags full.
Very good.
Thank you.
Craig, I've had this question from a few of our viewers. Do you like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, he's the Thriller guy. The king of pop.
Can you look at me? What songs does he sing?
Like Beat It, Thriller, I'm Bad.
Which is your favorite?
The Thriller.
Can you sing me any of his songs?
Beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it, no, mean it.
Is there a parody of that song?
Well, there's Eat It, sung by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah. Do you know how that one goes?
Eat it, eat it, eat it, no, mean it.
Good job. I also know that you can do the moonwalk. Will you show everyone how you can do the moonwalk? Hold on. Okay. I've seen you do it a little better than that, but can you see if you can do it? Remember how you do it slower? Okay, I don't think Greg remembers. Maybe it would help if you had the music, but all right. It's very good anyway.
Alexa, resume. Thanks for the question.
You're welcome.
Hi ho, everybody. This is Craig Ever here, And today we're making ham balls and cheesy potatoes. Today we're making ham balls and cheesy potatoes.
Ham balls, according to when I looked them up on Pinterest, they all call them Iowa ham balls. So maybe this is an Iowa thing. I don't know. But they are very delicious. And we're starting out with this half of a ham that I purchased in April but never got used, and it's nearing its expiration date. So we are going to grind it up with the food processor to make our ham ball mixture. Okay. So the next step is we put some chunks of the ham in the food processor, and now we're going to grind it up. You will actually see me using this in a lot of videos. I also used this to make frosting for our Pop-Tarts recently. I just used these two attachments. It's great for small jobs like that, so you don't have to get your mixer out. This is actually one of my favorite products that I had bought on Amazon. I bought it because I wanted an emulsifier for using our creamy ice cream maker. But after I got it, I realized I use it for so many things, especially this. This works just like a food processor does, but you don't have to have 3 separate things. You can use this for a food processor, an emulsifier. I have used it to chop a lot of different things. It works good for if you're mixing up cold brew. I'm sure there's many other uses, but I just can't think of them. It mixed if you have a creamy, which is an ice cream maker, I'll show you someday. We've used it to make low calorie and low fat ice cream. This works excellent to emulsify all those ingredients together. All right, so we are ready to make the ham balls, right?
Yep.
We ground up the ham that we had, and I'm going to read off the ingredients that you will need. You will need 2 pounds of ground ham, 1 pound of ground pork, 1 3/4 cup of graham cracker crumbs, 1 cup of whole milk, and 1/4 cup of dehydrated minced onions. So Craig can start by, you want to put that in that big metal bowl there?
Sure.
Basically, we're going to put all the ingredients into the metal bowl. Now, would you break 2 eggs into that measuring cup, and then we're going to beat them before we pour them into the mixture, the ham ball mixture. All right. Okay, Craig's going to whip up those eggs with a fork right quick. It says to beat the eggs before you pour them into the ham ball mixture. You think they're ready to go in?
Yeah.
Okay, so pour them in on top of the ham ball mixture. All right, now what do we have left? What else do we have left on there? I know we have the minced onions.
The milk.
The milk and the minced onions. So you're gonna pour in the milk.
Yes.
And then we need that 1/4 cup filled with minced onions, and then you'll pour that in there. I think I've mentioned before that minced onions are one of my favorite ingredients.
Here's what we're gonna do, Lampy. How's that?
Okay, and pour it in. All right, and our next step, Craig's the only person I know that likes dry minced onions. So our next step then is to mix all the ingredients together that are in this bowl. And this is the fun part. You gotta dig your hands in there and mix that up. I can stand to do this. I did take a wooden spoon and I was able to mix it up quite a bit. I'm not sure Craig knows what I mean to do. You have to take your hands and squeeze it. Yeah, like that, to get it all mixed up together. I'm kind of surprised that Craig's doing this and it's not bothering him. Because to tell you the truth, I don't really like that feeling on my hands. Craig's doing great. All right. All right, so we got Craig sprayed our pan with release spray. And now he's using our large cookie scoop to make the handballs. And once he gets them scooped out, we will roll them into balls. He's doing a good job. I think this is going to make quite a few handballs. You can go ahead and make them, Craig. What's wrong?
Nothing. Make them more?
You want me to do the rest of them?
Yes.
Okay, so Craig's got some. Now he's got some done, and I think he wants me to help with the rest of those. It does make your hand tired using that big cookie scoop. So our next step is to make these into balls. There. I'll make them nice and smooth. And now here's what they look like after you have made them into the balls. And now we'll just repeat that process until we get all of the meat used up. Here's what we have left, so we've got a little ways to go. All right, well, while the handballs are cooking, we are going to make the glaze that goes on top. So the first ingredient, Craig, why don't you do the brown sugar first? So measure the brown sugar and put it into that cup. We need a full cup.
How's that?
Maybe a little bit more, Craig. What do you think?
That's good.
All right, pour it in there. And what does it say next on the list?
1/2 cups ketchup.
Yes, so let's just make it 2 cups though, because we have lots of handballs.
2 cups?
Mm-hmm. The glaze is a very important part of the handballs. Do you need help? That's not clear full yet. There you go. What do you think that's full?
Yeah.
It's not full. You need to put a little bit more in there, buddy. Okay. That looks good.
Put here.
Mm-hmm. And then we need another cup, just like that.
Half?
Nope, you need it full. Let's do it full, because I feel like we need a lot of glaze. All right, now I'm gonna pour that in there. And then what's the next thing that it says on the list? Here, I'll take that.
1/4 cup cider vinegar.
Okay, so, there's a 1/4 cup right here. And so you'll pour the cider vinegar into that and then pour it into the measuring cup with the ketchup.
How's that?
That looks good. You're doing a good job. What do you think of the smell of vinegar?
It smells funny.
I know, you hate that smell. I wondered how that was going to go, but you did a great job. All right, and what's the next? I think there's one more ingredient. Yes. We don't have any dried mustard. We're just going to use a tablespoon of regular mustard. Actually, this is some onion mustard that we got when we were at the Amana Colonies. Let's see. Toasted onion mustard. It has onions in it. It has to be good. All right, great. What do you think about that? It's pretty strong. I don't think I want to eat that by itself. Ingredients for the cheesy potatoes is a medium chopped onion. So Craig's going to, very good. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these choppers before, but they are so great. When you are chopping onions, they make it very fast, and I never cry when I use this. This is what it is. It's called the Vidalia Chop Wizard. I actually think I got mine at a garage sale, but I've seen them at food specialty stores and on Amazon as well.
What in tarnation happened here?
Definitely one of my best garage sale finds. It's kind of fun to use, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah.
So Craig's going to add the butter to this pan. Can you put the butter in there? And we're also going to add the chopped onions to it because we're going to saute the onions now. So do you see this chopped onions, Craig?
Mm-hmm.
Now I want you to put the onions in that pan with the butter. And we're going to saute the onions. There you go. That's probably good. While the onion is sauteing, Craig's going to dump the hash browns into this big metal bowl. Put those all in there. I'm going to add 16 ounces of sour cream to those potatoes.
Yo.
Do you need help?
Yeah.
Okay. We are also going to add a can of cream of celery soup and a can of cream of mushroom soup. You could really add whatever kind of cream of soup you want. Some people use cream of chicken. I like this combo a lot. I even saw a recipe that said to use cream of onion. I think Craig's going to need a little help getting it out of the can. It says to add 2 cups of cheese. We might add a little more. You go ahead and pour about half of that in there and then pour the whole thing. All right, we like extra cheesy potatoes. So
Extra cheesy.
Then we'll mix that up, and also we still need to add our minced onions and our butter.
Also,
Here's the soup we used, in case anyone wants to know. We used the Campbell's brand. Craig's gonna stir that up for us, and then we'll put it into the casserole dish. Put the crunchy topping on and put it in the oven, and that part will be on its way to cooking. And this is what it looks like so far. So I poured the onion and butter into the cheesy potatoes. Now we'll mix it up really good and put it into the casserole. The next step is to pour the glaze over the ham ball. So don't pour the whole thing, just pour some into it. You try just a little bit and then I'll do the rest. All right. Just like that. You're doing a great job. So while we're waiting for the onions to saute, Craig is crunching up some cornflakes for the topping. So for the last step for our cheesy potatoes, we've melted a stick of butter and put a bunch of crushed cornflakes in it, and that makes our topping. You probably just pour the pan on top and then spread it around. There you go. All right. You can put the pan. You want to put them here. All right. Just spread that on. All right. Spread it. And here we have all of the meatballs with the glaze on them. I did end up doubling the glaze recipe because no way was that enough to cover all the meatballs. I divided the meatballs into smaller pans so that we'd be able to, so that I could freeze them afterwards for future meals. And in the bottom of the oven, we have our cheesy potatoes cooking, and they will probably cook about an hour. You usually know because the crust on top gets brown and they start to bubble. Dinner is served. Well, what do you think?
Tastes good.
I think you did a great job cooking it. I'll give you a close-up. There's the cheesy potatoes, and the ham balls, and that's just a frozen roll that we bought. But it all turned out really well. If you've never made ham balls before, I encourage you to give them a try and to serve them with the cheesy potatoes because it's the perfect combination. And ham balls are quite a treat. These made so many that we'll be able to freeze at least enough for another 2 meals. Craig? All right. Craig, can you give me a review for our ham balls and our cheesy potatoes?
Ham balls and cheesy potatoes are absolutely scrumptious. I give it 2 thumbs up on it.
Me too. On a scale of 1 to 10.
5 stars.
Only 5, not 10?
No, 10 stars.
It looks like you like them quite a lot.
The contest. Let's have a contest, Chip said to his brother. Okay, said Pip. They were both sitting under a big oak tree. Their little sister heard him. I love contests, said Tulip. Chip and Pip just laughed. So what should the contest be? Pip asked Chip. Chip looked at the acorns on the ground. He said. Let's have an acorn contest. The winner is the one who can carry the most acorns. Pip nodded. That's a good idea. Tulip nodded too. Chip went first. He picked up 2 acorns and put them on his nose. Then he picked up 3 more acorns in his paws. Ready, set, go, yelled Pip. Chip zigged and zagged across the yard. Yikes, he shouted, but he didn't drop any acorns. Now it's my turn, said Pip. He picked up 2 acorns and put them on his nose. Then he picked up 3 more acorns in his paws, and then he flipped 2 more acorns onto his tail. Ready, set, go, yelled Chip. Pip zigged and zagged across the yard. Yikes, he shouted, but he didn't drop any acorns. I'm ready, said Tulip. Her brothers laughed again. Ho, 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 ho. You don't get a turn, said Chip. You're too little, said Pip. Tulip folded her arms. Are you afraid I might win? She asked. Afraid? Said Chip. Not at all, said Pip. Then I get a turn, said Tulip. Can I carry the acorns any way I want? Her brothers nodded. Tulip put some acorns in a pile. She counted them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could carry only 5 acorns, said Chip. And I could carry only 7 acorns, said Pip. How can you carry 8 acorns? Just watch me, said Tulip. Then Tulip ate 3 of the acorns. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Hey, said Chip, what are you doing? Tulip ate 3 more acorns. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Slow down, said Pip. What's going on? Tulip ate the last 2 acorns. Crunch, crunch. Ready, steady, go, she cried. Then she ran across the yard. She didn't have to zig or zag at all. I win, shouted Tulip. Chip turned to Pip and Tulip. Do you want to play again? He asked. Okay, said Pip. I don't, said Tulip. I'm too full. And this is Craig A. Vaver saying, keep on having a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow when I watch Elemental.